And we're back. As Sonya Blade would say, it's combat time once again. So we got some Towers of Time to do, and as you can see, we've done 30 towers. Sorry for not streaming it last night, but I was a little bit under the weather. I think Quan Chi put a sickness spell on me, but I beat it. And we are still trying to make sure we stay in the top 5% to get that cool Cabal skin, since I know I love using Cabal. And of course, in the chat party with me tonight, we have the famous Wicked.
Yep.
We have Agent 45, aka Mountains of Ice. We have Fire Ninja.
Why do you have that?
We have the Great and Powerful Mayhem. And lastly, but certainly not least, we have the greatest Canadian of all time. No, I'm not talking about the Mountie, but he does always get his man. It is Heartless.
I'm better than the Mountie.
As we always do, we're going to start off with Duke Cybot, aka Star Platinum.
Die, rats. Die.
Why have you done this, Victor?
Why did this happen to me?
I got some shoes, I got some roller skates.
So looks like he's got Eldo. He's got
Now I'm gonna go to the rollerblade, the roller rink, pick up the chicks.
You know, I was never allowed to go to the roller rink because I am so terrible. I have a bad equilibrium. But then yet again,
one in my town, so I never went.
I was that weird kid at roller skates who would be spending time on the Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet saying, "Who wants to face me?"
And when nobody showed up, you're like,
making you laugh is impossible.
I just practiced with Raiden.
Yes, you're the black hole of comedy.
and then cry.
Nah.
Mayhem cried? Is that what you said? Mayhem cried?
No, I said, and then he cried.
Yeah, he's making a joke about me.
What's he done with it?
Oh crap. Oh crap. I use my psychic powers on you.
No.
Use psychic powers. Damn, these guys have a lot of health and a lot of money to give.
Round 2, fight.
Oh, Mayhem left.
I just joined, I just walked in on an asshole. Is there a way you can make this level?
Yeah, I would have to destroy that bird.
I think it's a... Can I you die now. Yeah.
Good night, Johnny Cage. You are now dead.
My man had a family.
This is what you get for making that terrible movie, Ninja Mime.
Still had a family.
I don't care. Question of the video, guys. As you know, we start live doing questions of the video. This one's actually video game related, unlike Evil Within 1's question. What is the one game that was on PlayStation? It can be on PlayStation 1, 2, or 3 that you wish would get remastered and come to the PS4.
On the PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2?
It can be from the PlayStation 1, 2, or 3.
Or 7.
We're not there yet. Give it time.
But nobody's gonna buy that system. I'm not gonna buy that system.
Yeah, Johnny's gonna buy it. The PlayStation 1?
It can be from the PS1, PS2, or PS3.
Well, most of the PS3 games have already been ported already.
Most of them, yeah. Some of them have not.
That's what Sony does. They make you pay for the same game you already paid for.
Granted, some of them I don't mind picking back up because I'm honest. I already pre-ordered the Ghostbusters remastered. That's because it
What
was
Ghostbusters remastered? Not that one that came out a couple of years ago.
no, the one that was on PS3 that had everybody from the original two films.
Yeah, the one from a couple of years ago. Yeah,
No, the
one
one
that
from a
actually
couple
had a
years ago would be that one that was a
No,
terrible tie-in to the Ghost version.
No, I'm not talking about the one.
Okay,
The stupid
see.
Slimer, the Slimer crap, and then that
Okay,
weird
so you
thing.
mean
I'm
the
talking about.
the one from a few years ago that was
Talking
on
about the one
3 and
where they brought back
Xbox.
the voice actors. They brought
Yeah,
back the voice actors, and your character that you play as doesn't say a
correct.
word until like the end of the game.
Correct. That one's getting remastered for the 4 and Xbox One and Switch.
Yeah, I
Well,
might get that one.
a lot of people wanted that one. I already been told by the family when that comes out that will be when I have to let's play again. So that's two games I'm being forced to let's play. Yay! But yes, I didn't think you might have not chose that one. So you all can think of which one you want it to be. When you actually have it, your answer, let me know. And Moth says, "Oh, Canada."
What about Canada?
I think he's saying that because you're in here. I already know which one's mine, but I will say mine after I kill Devoro.
Who dares disturb the swarm?
Round one, fight.
I would have said maybe the God of War, but I think they did a remaster of all of them, didn't they already?
They remastered the. That one's kind of.
They did. They just three.
They did. We remastered 3. They
and
did not
4.
remaster the first 2 on the 4 yet.
Oh, I just got the championship title. I am now the Belgian champion of the world.
Nice.
You're welcome, America.
So you're gonna go with God of War 1 and 2.
I would say all of the God of War. Just do them all.
Just do them all? Yeah, that would be because even the 2 on the PSP were good, but they can keep that multiplayer one off.
Ascension, it just had the multiplayer mode. It wasn't multiplayer mode.
Yeah, I know.
Like
Unfortunately, as somebody who had that, the only way to get the platinum was playing the multiplayer mode, which was dead.
Oh, because nobody wants to play that game multiplayer.
Yeah, like that's the one thing.
That's like the Last of Us multiplayer. Nobody played that game.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that worries me with the Ghostbusters remaster because, you know, I love the multiplayer for that game. I actually had fun with it, but unfortunately a lot of people did not do the multiplayer. So it's like, if they leave the multiplayer trophies on there, that's going to make that platinum very difficult a bit.
I don't know why they have multiplayer trophies. Just put the mode in there, don't put any trophies connected to it.
Yeah, I don't either. I know I made that complaint on Family Guy Multiverse game. Granted, that one, I think my big... It was no, I actually enjoyed it. I said it was a 3 out of 5. It was average, which for most TV game shows, that's a plus. TV games based on a TV show, that's a plus. My issue with it was you had to get a lot of the trophies in multiplayer, but it was couch mode multiplayer only. So if you didn't have somebody with you, it kind of made it a little bit of a bitch. As for me personally, since I got it on pause, I'll just say what mine is. And Moth, since you may have not heard the question, what game would you like to see get remastered on the 4? It can be anything from PS1, 2, 3, PSP, Vita, whatever. For me personally, this is kind of more of a... I know everyone's expecting me to say Twisted Metal 2 since that is my #1 game of all time. But it's not Twisted Metal 2. It is Resident Evil Outbreak File 1 and File 2. As I've said in the past, to me that is a cult hit. The online actually worked for it, and you could actually, when you died, you could either be a nice zombie and help your team, or be a dick and kill all your teammates. I think you can guess if anyone's played with me knows what kind of playstyle I had.
You were a dick.
You were a dick.
Like always.
It depended on who I was using. If I was using Kevin or Mark, I was a nice guy. If I was using the plumber, I was a dick. And if I was using any of the female characters, I would just talk in a sexy female voice just to fuck with them and make them go want to kill themselves. I know somebody was...
I don't think that's. I don't think that would have made me go crazy.
No,
I think
no.
that would just make me stop playing the game. I think they'd be like, okay.
Some people did do that too. I know a lot of people saying, "Well, dog, Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City." That game, I love it and hate it. I love the idea of that game. I love what they were trying to do with that game, but it failed in execution.
You want Survivor.
Back to the Multiverse was an enjoyable game. That's quite a hard question, Moff says.
Oh, sorry. Oh, can I add another one? It can only
You
be
can
one?
add another one, since I added Outbreak File 1 and 2, and that's 2 games, so you can add another one.
This one is a movie franchise inspired one. The
Ooh.
Rocky game.
Oh.
Sorry, the Rocky Legends.
I actually got
sorry.
one of the Rocky games at Too Many Games for free. It was, I think it's not the Redlands one. It's the one where you find from the movies in order. But yeah, the Rocky games are fun, good boxing games.
You can change the outcome depending on who you play as.
Oh,
That's Legends. That's the one I like.
that would actually be kind of cool, because they don't really. I don't think they actually have a boxing game on PS4, do they? I mean, you technically got UFC, but that's more of mixed martial arts.
For some reason, the Fight Night games never made a
Creed. I think there's a Creed game.
Oh, there is a Creed game, but you have to have the VR to play it.
Yeah, and yeah, it's in theory. Come on, in theory.
To all other VR, yeah.
Well, it's not just the VR. I mean, the whole Creed franchise is in theory. Goddamn ice cream shop.
Just make it splatter.
What about you, 40 Johnny? What game would you like to see get remastered and come to the PS4?
I would love to see Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I know that's never gonna happen. That was like the best Dragon Ball Z game of all time, in my opinion.
Understandable. And I do love me a good anime fighting game. I'm glad you did not say the Dragon Ball Z fighting game on PS1. I would have slapped you upside your head.
I know
one?
Death was in the party right now. I know what he would say. He would say the guy game.
Brad?
Yeah.
Yeah. He might have, because he actually has the Xbox version. Don't get me wrong, I'm trying to get the PS2 version, but that's because that's the only adult game I need left.
Why, you have the Leisure Suit Larry, even though it's been edited down to like...
Yeah, I have that one, and I have the Playboy Sims game.
The Silver Cat. Thieves.
And I know Wicked and Fine Ninja are still thinking of their answers, which, unless they already know what game they would pick.
I want Need for Speed Underground.
Ooh, that wouldn't be a bad one.
Which one? Second one or first one?
First one related to the...
First one.
Silver Cat.
Alright.
That was the best one they fucking put out on the PS2.
And what about our
What was the
good
best game on
friend
the PS2?
Fire
I didn't
Ninja?
hear what he said.
No, he said best racing game was Need for Speed Underground 1.
Yes,
Was
I
Wicked.
agree. I agree. That was probably the best racing game ever made.
You can customize your car.
No way, Mayhem's not here.
Yeah, Mayhem left.
And the story mode was decent too. It wasn't like...
This new Need for Speed stuff that they're putting out is just, it ain't the same.
No, it's not. Not even close.
I mean, it's not.
I mean,
You
Need for
travel
Speed, to be
around.
honest, hasn't been good since the freaking Hot Pursuit game in 2010.
True. Very true.
I mean, that was like the last good Need for Speed game.
Yeah. I agree with that.
That's difficult.
Can I help you with anything? Yeah. You get out of my
Take it.
face, bitch.
Let's see. Moff says he'd say
Think through.
Fallout New Vegas remastered. Yes, I know it's on PS now, but I don't care. And if not that, WWE Here Comes the Pain, which will never happen.
Yeah, no WWE game is ever gonna get a remaster.
Oh no. I don't think 2K would do that. Oh, Vince.
Oh, no, no, I don't think that's what it is. I don't know who owns the 2K, the THQ rights. I know it's not 2K games.
A majority of it was bought by Nordic, which became THQ Nordic.
Which they have no interest in remastering anything. Unless it's the games are played. They just released another one. Another sequel coming out. The Darksiders? I think it's Darksiders.
Yeah, Darksiders, because there's a fourth one coming out.
Yeah.
I have a couple more.
Yeah, I have Johnny answer sorry. Because there's quite a few that I can say.
I would love that. I love to see Burnout 3 and Burnout Revenge.
Mom says it can be in his dreams.
Oh, the two best Burnouts besides Paradise.
I wasn't a big fan for Burnout.
Okay.
It's like you stabbed his kid.
Guess I'll tell you to start court for something related to... Oh, so I gotta go outside. Why don't you just say leave the mall?
The outside is looking a lot better, but I want to move this wall and one that just...
Tell me to go outside instead of do a dig.
See the moon and the sun. I'm so freaking happy.
I know one game I don't want to see get remastered, and that was the Twisted Metal game on PS3. Is that one? I'm sure that one I've told people I was disappointed with that. Because unfortunately, the story mode wasn't that long, and the bulk, like 80% of the game was multiplayer, which unfortunately...
Why did you take my seats in?
Because I was cutting down the wall because it was awkward looking. It wouldn't work with anything.
Lobbies for that game were not exactly the greatest.
Now it just looks weird in here.
Down. I make it.
Hey, Scorpion has the Canadian colors on this time.
Ah.
You were complicit in my clan's demise. Their deaths pleased me. For the Shirai Ryu, you die.
I don't know Scorpion likes Canada. Eh.
This transition for Stranger Things 3 from the show to the game is quite comical. I don't know if they're doing some of these humorous scenes on purpose, but I'm laughing myself inside right now.
I think Scorpion may beat me this round. And the man, I win. Scorpion, you get to die.
All these doors. You don't need that many.
Scorpion, you may be wearing the Canadian colors, but Noob Saibot represents America.
America.
Fuck yeah.
America.
Is it sad I actually watched that movie on 4th of July twice?
Why was it actually played on your television?
Yeah, it actually was, and I was like, I found it, I typed it in just for kicks, and I'm like, wait a minute, they're actually showing this on a movie channel? I think it was on like HBO or Showtime or something, and they aired it back to back. Oh, and you know that because Comedy Central Day 4th of July was showing South Park, which I watched that for a bit. And I will say this, it's... Some of the older episodes make me happy, you know, brought a smile on my face, but some of the newer ones they showed, I was like, why is Kenny still alive at the end of the show? Kill Kenny, damn it.
Doug lives in the 90s.
Stop picking on Kenny.
I'm sorry, I grew up seeing Kenny die every episode, shit.
Not everything can be the same.
Yes, dumb.
How many times can you rehash the same joke before it gets old?
Family Guy does that all the time, and yet they're still on the air.
Yeah, they haven't been good for years.
Still on the air?
So is The Simpsons.
No, I will be honest, The Simpsons have been disappointing the last few seasons.
Forever. Come on. Come on, Doug. This has been bad for a very long time. Not even their Halloween episodes are entertaining anymore.
No, they're not, which is unfortunate, because I usually always look forward to those at least.
Is it odd that I've been finding boxes of nails and super
Here, Sub-Zero, I have a dead body.
So, another game that should get remastered is the Condemned. And if you're talking about mannequins, that one will freak you out.
Condemned. Condemned was the one that took place, what, in the prison, I think?
No, you're thinking of a different game.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking of a different...
You're thinking of the one done by Rockstar. You're thinking of Manhunt.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking of Manhunt of the Suffering. That's the two I was thinking of. Condemned. Isn't that the one where you play as yeah, I was gonna say a cop, and then spiritual spooky shit starts happening on a case you're trying to solve.
There's like dead birds, and
okay.
You go into a warehouse, and there's all these mannequins, and then all of a sudden the mannequins.
I remember that game. I've never played the first one. I got to play the second one on PS3.
The second one was bad.
The second one was terrible, so I never got to experience the first one since the first one was an Xbox exclusive. It should. If usually what does happen, Moth, will most likely be done by Fire Ninja again, because I have not had time to download it. I'm probably going to try to get it done downloading tomorrow.
Outside in the suburbs. So what? You didn't take the time to put the black character's house in the game, so I have to find his fucking book, lost in the middle of fucking nowhere. With no direction to go and look for the fucking thing. Fucking racist, dude. Fucking black. Fucking racist.
Fatality. Noob Saibot wins.
Lost outside in the suburbs. It's gonna be fucking... pain in the ass. Let's use my bottled hairspray to kill everybody.
Daddy, what's a pain in the ass? Ask your mother.
Ask Batman. Batman will tell you.
Yeah,
No, we'll run away.
Batman. It's always gonna make me laugh.
Be
That's
like, the
that skit
penguin.
we had.
The penguin is a pain in the ass.
No, Batman would be like, "It's Damian Wayne. That's why I always went away."
You were the first Sub-Zero.
Yes, yes, we know I was the first fucking Sub-Zero because I'm Noob Saibot. That's your point.
Yeah, they make him play the game finally. They made Sabot. I finally a new character.
Well, no, it's still Noob Saibot.
No, I mean like they finally made him play the character.
No, it's the one who was an MK9.
That's what I'm talking about. He's an actual selectable character now.
Yeah, in this one, yeah, because he wasn't in 10. Granted, his voice sounds like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
Round 2, fight.
Wait, I'm stuck in the woods.
What's so fun?
I'm out in the dark in the rain.
Of course they are. Come on, kids, let's sing Heartless the Woods song.
Nice, got another kid. That probably sounded a lot worse than it should have been. But in the game, you unlock characters. Because the kids.
Yay, I got another kid to add to
Oh, you gotta get all the characters from the show, right? They each have their own abilities.
No, you gotta collect the kids.
Holy fuck, he's got a gun. This kid's got a gun. They give the weakest kid a gun. Tell me that. Tell me that doesn't happen in the movie.
Billy's got a gun.
Never watched it.
Big Bud's on the run.
What, you've never watched Stranger Things?
No.
Good. It's a good show.
I
Kind of
haven't
mixture of,
either,
like,
but then yet again, I don't have Netflix, so.
It's kind of a mixture of like the Goonies meets the Goonies meets It. You know, bunch of friends team up, and weird shit starts happening. They try to figure out why.
Which It?
The good one.
So the 90s one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Where you actually give a shit about the characters. Not like the fucking remake where you don't give a shit about any of them and you want to beat the shit out of Billy. Because he's not supposed to hook up with the fucking chick. You're not supposed to screw over your friend. The damn modern version tells you, oh, it's okay, screw over your friend. Never mind your friend who saved the fucking girl, who fucking risked his ass to save you. Oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah, who needs friends?
Yeah,
Exactly. Now you get it.
yeah, because it just works. Right,
Friends are
just
for
works.
communists.
Well, speaking of communists, there's some communists I'm dealing with now.
Ah, Doug.
Oh, funny. When you said the Goonies, the first thing I could think of was the Cyndi Lauper music video for the Goonies. Yes, I know it's sad. I actually remember the music video for the Goonies that she did.
Grab some brass knuckles for me, and we'll do the rest. The panorama started taking.
Oh, funny.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give this shady guy outside some brass knuckles so he can beat the shit out of me and rob me.
Yes.
Earthrealm is off limits.
It's Triple H versus Seth Rollins.
One written in stone.
I just bought a Roman candle, which should be the name of Roman Reigns' version of the Roman candle.
I changed the channel when Roman comes on TV, so I don't know.
Iron double clad versus full throttle full throttle assault.
Change the color scheme.
And I'm losing this match. Yep. Ugh.
Like 15%. Foot spikes. So now I can
Let's
get
try
these
Shao
and
Kahn
now
one
I'll
more
stick.
time. It's actually the first time I think I've lost on a tower. Probably did not pick the smartest thing to use here, since he's got two things I can't really block against.
So you say you're using Shao Kahn?
Now I lost with Shao Kahn. Yeah, that was the first time I've lost with Shao Kahn.
So you mean they didn't make them extra slow? Power up?
They did, but what's not helping me is Liu Kang is
Crap.
using two mods that are kind of fucking me up here.
Oh, look at these fucking...
Got you that
assholes
time,
in here.
bitch. Liu
Stop
Kang,
beating the kids, you jerk. Stop throwing knives at children.
you're dead.
Why? Throwing knives at children so bad.
Bow down to my sledgehammer so I can bury you.
It's, all of a sudden, what, you're Triple H now? Is that what you're saying?
Actually, I actually called one of the variations for Shao Kahn Triple H. But I was using the...
As well?
No, because I was using the End of the World variation that pays homage to an anime show I like.
Oh, so you didn't go,
No, I didn't go, I in the game, By the way, I made everyone at 7-Eleven freaked out and laugh at the same time, because someone was buying Slim Jims and I went, ooh yeah, you need a little bit of excitement. Ooh, you're gonna snap into a Slim Jim, ooh yeah, dig it. You're gonna go into the danger zone and find Miss Elizabeth and Hulk Hogan. Unfortunately, I can't do
That's
that
when
voice
the
right
chil-
now.
And that's when people shout stranger danger and run away.
Oh, kiss my hair.
That probably happened, yep. That probably
No.
did happen.
My mom just shook her head and be like, really? You had to pull out the Macho Man thing here?
Really? Man,
Oh, I guess I'm going
such
into the
a
basement, which
disappointment.
I don't recall ever happening on the show, but alright. Oh, it doesn't smell right. It smells like commies.
It smells like North Dakota.
Sure
They
doesn't
still
smell like
haven't
Ohio?
answered. And I still don't know because there's still a lot of news.
Holy crap, a
Keep
lot of
popping in my
assholes.
head.
You still haven't picked one for a remaster yet, Fire Ninja?
No, because there's a lot that I want to say.
Oh, pick one and then, you know, process of elimination, bro. Oh, I just...
Oh, great, I get to kill Liu Kang again.
I don't think that's how it works. I don't think I was supposed to do that. I don't think I was supposed to turn off the power to the town. Die, you mothers. I'm just sick and tired of these guys. Holy crap! Ambush! Ambush! I need an adult! I need an adult!
I am an adult. I'm here for your
Stranger
stuff.
danger. This is where the stranger danger comes in at like 40 times the power.
There is no stranger danger.
Grenades and children.
No, I'm pretty sure there is such a thing as stranger danger.
Not in Virginia, we just call it moonshine.
Let's call it moonshine. What is this?
Yep.
Right, Doug. Okay. You need someone to call somebody?
No.
You sure?
I'm
Because
sure.
you know, I'm sure the road dog's available.
Oh, you didn't know? Boom, 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 boom.
Oh crap! More rats. Ah.
And
They're
remember,
albino rats.
Road Dog is his slave name. His name is the Roadie.
I think you got that backwards.
I remember him as the Roadie first, and that's what always he remember me. Coming out with Jeff Jarrett, who was his master.
Doug.
Yes.
Yeah, Doug. Sometimes I
Just
wonder if I should just stab
don't
myself
talk.
in the face.
Yes.
Instead of continuing the conversation.
Well, if you're gonna slap yourself in the face, just remember you have to do the Three Stooges sound
not
effect.
smack myself. I said stab myself in the face.
Don't do that.
Can I join you?
Hey, look, Scarlet's wearing the Canadian colors.
Souls hold more power than
Can I join you so that way I don't ever have to hear Doug again?
What is wrong with hearing me? You guys act like it's a bad thing that you guys have to talk to me.
You really need to ask that question?
Yes.
Who leaves a power switch to power in the back?
People from South
Terrible-
Dakota.
Terrible contractors. Wicked hasn't said a word in a while.
I think Wicked just has a recording device set up to all this, so he's like, I can use this to blackmail them all.
Round 2, fight.
That or he's working on building a house in Minecraft.
Either that or he's got a hooker.
No one built I'm working to fix. Please.
You're working to fix the hooker? Okay. Just wanted to clarify.
Yes.
I'm gonna put him in his place.
His place. Man.
Yes, horse could be. Horse could be boys.
And now we've killed
Is that what you
Scarlet.
just said? Horse could be boys.
I mean, boys can be whores.
They could try, but
Wicked,
Well,
are you capable of speech? You're just nodding your head yes.
Nothing in the computer except this note that says
Words, Wicked. Do you speak them? Why not?
I'm waiting for Wicked to go.
What?
Don't you remember the review from Nostalgia Critic of Rhapsody Kids Meet Santa Claus? And Grandma going, introduce.
No.
So I'm the only one who only remembers that. Okay.
I think we need to call an exorcist for Doug.
I don't know if I told Doug that I saw that possession of, what the hell is that fucking movie that came out recently?
Annabelle.
No.
No, that was not.
I saw
No.
that one. No, this was older than that. Possession
Is it the one in the morgue?
Yes.
I
What a
saw that
garbage
too.
shit movie.
I actually told
What a-
people that was like one of the worst horror films I've ever seen. I said the effects weren't my issue. It's the acting that was the biggest problem. Because I'm like the story.
No, that's not the problem with the movie. No, that is not the
To
problem
me,
with
that was the
movie.
problem. Because I said the story was
No.
kind of decent. You know, if you played it better.
No, it was not decent. No, it was not decent. It was bad.
Well, it was
very,
bad, but
very
I was like I said,
I'm
one of,
sorry.
I
Your
didn't like the
answer-
acting.
I'm sorry. No.
And the
I'm
story I
sorry,
thought
your
was, you
answer-
know, could have been better, but it wasn't the worst concept story. But the problem was the one pretty much main actress you had, she was not believable to me. Plus, I said the jump scares really weren't effective. No one in the theater with me actually got scared. We actually were laughing because of how bad it was with the jump scares. I actually put in my review it was a
Doug's favorite is
comedy.
Sleepaway Camp.
I actually own that on DVD.
What about Sleepaway Camp 2?
So bad.
I actually have
And
I actually bought the thing that has all the Sleepaway Camp films.
even the terrible Return to Sleepaway Camp.
Yes.
No, the Return to Sleepaway Camp was pretty bad too, Doug.
It was bad. It was bad. Trust me. It's the Sleepaway Camp films. I'm like, the first one I can at least enjoy for a good jolly laugh because it's one of those cult films. But the other ones after that were just,
The second one was.
The second one was
charm to it.
The second one is passable when I'm drunk.
The second one has some charm to it. The third one, no.
I will say two films, one film, horror film franchise.
Camp, you just want the main character to die.
Well, yeah, that's what
I wanted the main character to die throughout all of them. I didn't like any of the
most horror films, you kind of want the hero to die to a degree because you're not cheering for the good guy, you're cheering for the villain.
But I've seen a movie where there was a villain. Since you brought up Return to Sleepaway Camp.
What are you doing? Oh my god, Wicked is just ruining.
It was done so well. It had a mixture of campiness.
Stop.
And intrigue and twists. But they never did a remaster or a remake, and that's April Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day. You know, I think that's one of the few I've not seen yet.
Better now. Actually looks, you know,
April
believable.
Fool's Day is a bunch of kids go away to a summer party, and then everybody starts dying.
It looks a lot better.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one yet, and that's because I own a lot of a lot of horror films. Some great, some bad, and some so crappy they're good.
Up there, if you're putting the
that one I don't
there,
think I have in my collection. I'll have to go through my collection tomorrow.
The carpet's not going to work with the bed.
I do know one horror film that I always tell people is one of my favorite, but it's one that doesn't get talked about a lot. Is Pumpkinhead. A lot of people forget that one or didn't see it, which I actually think Pumpkinhead's one of the few. It's got good acting, and it's one of the few films you actually are cheering for the monster to kill everybody.
Let's just talk about Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
No, a different idea. Let's talk about the Attack of the Killer Donuts. Which, yes, that's a real film. Yes, I've seen it. I've showed it to my family, and we all had the same idea. They were stoned when they made this film.
Oh, you mean you haven't seen Thanks Killing yet?
I've seen that. I just shook my head like, what the fuck am I doing this for?
Ah, Thanks Killing.
I got something that works.
I want to get off on the night.
Alright, 45. I've even watched the Gingerbread.
Rubber?
I've seen Rubble. I actually watched that after Nostalgia Critic reviewed it. I'm like, I have to watch this, and after I was done, I was like,
oh,
I don't know if this is a horror film.
Is that the tire one?
That's the tire with the killer tire. I'm like, is this supposed to be a horror film, a comedy, or? Because I'm like, it doesn't take it so seriously. You could just tell. It's like, yeah, we're not taking ourselves seriously on this fucking film. It was like one of those films. It's like you don't know what the point of the film is. You don't know what the director was thinking. But it's like you have to watch it over and over again to like get in the mind of the director and be like, what the fuck were you thinking?
Oh, they weren't thinking. That's the thing.
Well, no, they weren't. They weren't thinking. That's the issue.
I'm going to.
I was like, holy crap! I was like, I want that.
I'm just trying to build something and make it.
But it does bring up an interesting question. What's the worst thing to get killed by? A rubber tire or a gingerbread cookie?
If a gingerbread cookie
Yeah, I think that's the only reason anybody remembers that gingerbread cookie film is because of Gary Busey.
Want a carpet?
Nah. Oh well, that works.
By the way, when I was at Walmart today and I didn't buy it because I'm like, even I'm not that stupid, they remade another they rebooted Leprechaun again.
Yes, yes. Actually, not a reboot. It takes place after after the first one, not a reboot.
Okay. And my family's like, oh, you want to buy that, Doug? I'm like, no.
Has anybody in here played Starlink?
Star League? No.
Starlink.
Is that the one thing
L-I-N-K.
that's like, what's
I
it
don't
called?
think I have.
It has the ship things that you buy.
Yes, 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 yes.
I've seen it, but I haven't played it.
No, I have not bought that.
Mainly because I looked at the thing for the Switch, which has the Star Fox stuff. Kind of.
Yeah, I know. I seen that, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "That's kind of cool." No, because it's $60 everywhere, and I found it at a store for $17.
Damn.
For the PS4, so I'm like, you know. And it comes with one ship, but I'm like, you have like 19 different ships, and I'm like, holy crap.
It's probably trying to do what Skylanders did, but horrible timing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I was looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, it kind of looks like a little bit of No Man's Sky. I never played No Man's Sky.
Nope.
At any of us. Hey, look.
But I did buy something at Walmart today that was a video. We're gonna find out everyone's age here in a minute because it was part of the 50th anniversary for Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo and the 13 Ghost.
Never heard of it.
Now that doesn't surprise me, Fine Ninja. You're not old enough.
I've seen 13 Ghosts.
Yeah, I have that film on.
I have the original and the remake.
Yeah, I think I don't know which one I have for that one because I bought the cartoon today with Vincent Price in it for the Scooby-Doo thing.
The original is with Vincent Price.
Yeah, that one I bought because my family was like, "Do you want to get the movie one?" I'm like, "No, I'll stick with the one with Vincent Price because I love Vincent Price as an actor."
Oh, maybe there's a voice actor.
Ironically enough, Vincent Price is the only what was the film? There was a Disney film he was in. It's the only Disney film I own. I'm trying to figure out what it is. What was it? I don't want to have to get up to look. What was it? I shouldn't know. Oh, The Great Mouse Detective.
Oh, that's right. He was in The Great Mouse Detective. Yeah.
That's like the only Disney film I actually own that's mine. Yeah, now I remember Now I remember too because when we started playing Friday the 13th the first time, I actually put up the song that he sang in the film that got me hit with a copyright claim.
Well, if it's really Disney, they always get you with the copyrights.
Yeah, I know, because Disney has to be dicks.
Did you say this song is courtesy of blah 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 blah?
Yeah, I pretty much said before I played I do not own this. This is from Disney. I know they're going to probably do a copyright claim anyway because they're a bunch of dicks. I don't even love the song that he sings in there, Goodbye So Soon. He actually had that played at his funeral when they put him in the ground. So it's sense of humor to the end.
I thought they burned them.
Buried him, but I can't remember which, but I know that was the song he wanted requested in as well, that Goodbye So Soon song from The Great Mouse Detective when he did pass. So we completed that one, regret, and we're gonna come back to this one, Time to Smash, which looks like this is a Jack's Tower. Great. But first thing first, we're going to the crypt to see our friend the Crypt Keeper.
You mean the collector?
Yes, Yes, the collector, but you know, sometimes I like to say the crypt keeper to show my age, because I remember Tales from the Crypt. Na 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 na. Again, I'm showing my age because I actually not only remember the Tales from the Crypt, I actually have the entire series on DVD.
I need a walkie-talkie and a dummy.
Walkie-talkie and a dummy. That sounds like a bad episode of Goosebumps.
Isn't every episode a bad episode of Goosebumps?
No, there was some good ones.
No, there wasn't.
Like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Just like if All You Foot of the Dog had some good episodes, but then yet again I was a kid.
Not anymore. Not anymore, so they're all bad episodes.
Eh, I'm thinking about watching all the episodes of You Afraid of the Dark when it gets to Halloween.
You better off watching Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street.
I've actually watched the Friday the 13th series 2 years ago, and I said, not bad, but way over the top cheesiness. I can see what they were trying to do because it felt like they were trying to capture the X-Files and all that.
That's not what they were trying to do.
That's what it felt to me when that was what it felt like to me when I viewed it on Facebook for one of the groups I was in at the time. I know somebody wants me.
It did not feel that smart at all.
No, it didn't. I know somebody wants me to review on Twitter, and I can't remember who sent me the message. He said he wants me to review MTV's Sphere since I said I remember it from the 90s and early 2000s, and I'm like, you know, as somebody who watched that, I'm like, yeah, back as a kid it kind of got me, but I'm like, I'm now 31. I don't think it would have the same effect. I don't think. Because I know the point of it was like it was a horror reality game show, and it was trying to scare you and all that crap. And so I don't mind when you can scare people to death to get for money, you know, and try to earn money. But I'm like, you know, if I remember correctly, there was like one episode that was a two-parter because the first team failed. That's the only thing I remember about it. That and then there was another one. There was another game show around that time that came out, but they. Oh, I remember the other one. Maybe I know Heartless, you might remember it. Murder in Small Town X.
No, not that one.
Oh wow.
I didn't watch a lot of bad TV.
I kinda did back then, and I still like to watch bad TV even nowadays, because I'm like, eh.
No.
I like torturing myself.
Well, let's see it. It's either watch Monday Night Raw, or it's watch bad television. And I'll go with watching bad reality game shows from back in the day.
Die, rats.
Hey, don't kill Splinter. Splinter's a nice person.
Not this Splinter.
Leave Splinter alone.
This Splinter's a very bad man.
Why? Because he touched the turtles in naughty places?
Yes.
I knew that ninjutsu was a lie.
It's something, alright. Ninjutsu, I don't think. That's it, you're gonna go and punch a goddamn rat. Yeah, punch the rat.
Punch the rat in the dick.
Oh, I got another gnome. Nice. I think I just got... How many gnomes? 25, I'm halfway. This is the part where Bon Jovi's supposed to sing.
We're halfway.
And
you
the
go.
Shrine of the Silver Monkey gives me wealth, something for Centurion and Scarlet.
Yeah, who cares about Centurion?
Somebody does. Well, actually, one of the best MK players in the world actually uses her as his main, which is somewhat impressive.
Seeing as she's boring.
Not boring, but I'm the first one to say it. I don't look.
Someone boring. Someone who's boring. We're talking about Charlotte Flair.
Yes.
Talking about who?
Definitely boring. Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair.
Definitely boring and looks like a man.
I'm waiting for her to break her dad's record because I think she's gonna get to it at this point.
That's what they're planning on doing. What are you talking about? You think she is? Of course she is.
I'm still hoping that maybe WWE's just fooling us and just gonna let her get to 15 and be like, nope, you're not John Cena.
No, why do you think that? No, why do you think they put the title on Bayley? Because people will buy Bayley just jobbing to Charlotte. That's why.
Well, she hasn't jobbed to her yet, thank God.
Yeah, because Charlotte's been taking time off on Andrade because Andrade had a funeral.
Yeah, I forgot those two are dating.
Yep.
Andrade took
And she'll
some
come back
drugs.
and she'll be #1 contender, like she never left.
Yep.
But I'm still trying to figure out what the hell does she see in him in this situation.
You should be thinking about it the other way.
It's the other way.
Well, no, I can understand why a dude would date Charlotte because you get to hang out with Ric Flair.
What the hell? There's a rat with a wig.
What the hell? Why would you want to hang out with Ric Flair?
Dude, trust me, if Ric Flair came to my house and said, I'll hang out with you, but you gotta date Charlotte, I would be like, no fucking problem.
Dude, of all people to hang out with, you pick Ric Flair. Oh, by the way, news dropped this earlier yesterday. Sting will be on Raw.
Please, God, don't tell me they're gonna do Sting versus Undertaker. Please don't. 10 years ago, that would have been a great match.
Oh, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it for Mania.
Oh,
And,
God.
No
or
emeralds.
SummerSlam. It's one of those two.
Oh,
Stop
God.
it with the emeralds.
Monday.
Emeralds are the worst.
If they do
So
Taker
for
versus
Monday,
Sting,
it's a tag match. Monday it's a tag match. He's teaming up with Roman.
You are just.
oh, God. They were trying to make Roman beloved. I'm gonna say this if they do Taker versus Sting, because a lot of people have been wanting that match for years.
It's already
this-
happened.
They didn't do Taker versus Sting.
It was me and Mark Calloway versus Sting.
Yeah, that was in WCW. That's not what. That doesn't count. They want the
Yes, it
Undertaker
does.
gimmick versus the Sting gimmick, is what I'm talking about.
Okay, we'll come back as Surfer Sting.
Oh, that would actually make me happy because I like Silver Sting particularly because of his theme song. The man called Sting. He does this. He does that. I can't remember.
That's not how the song goes.
I can't
that's
remember
not
the
how the
rest
song
of the
goes at all.
fucking words.
It's not how the song goes. At
I know
all.
it's not how the song goes, but I actually love that.
This is
I
why
actually
we
love
can't
that
have nice
song.
things because you ruin songs.
Oh, shut up. Before I give you a Steiner line, another reference to the
Oh,
WCW.
You give me a starter line. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's.
I should point out I have that CD of all those songs of even the Natural Dustin Rhodes, and he's simply ravishing. Ow!
You ruined so many things, Doug.
No, shut up.
I hope you do realize that, right?
No, I don't ruin anything. I make everything better. But
See,
in all
your
seriousness,
singing is so bad that, if you were alive during World War II, that's what they would have used instead of gas.
you can just kiss my heavy metal
That's
ass
how
on that
bad
one.
your singing is.
But if they do Taker versus Sting 10 years ago, that match would have been good.
Now
but-
we're gonna see a failed choke slam.
But it's gonna be good, but in a whole nother way. It's gonna be so terrible and laughably bad. It's gonna be good.
Well, I don't think Sting would agree to bring that kind of performance. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think Sting. Yeah.
Goldberg, I'm not surprised had a bad match. Taker, I am surprised. Only
I
because
blame
he's
more
not
of that on
Christian.
Goldberg. Because Taker
But-
rarely has bad matches.
But Taker is old.
Old
so
as shit. Yeah, it's that. I don't think Sting, if he agrees to it, he's gonna want to have a good match. He's gonna want to have a decent match, which I think. If you would have came to me and say, Doug, would you rather have Sting Taker right now, Sting versus Taker versus Sting, or Taker versus Goldberg? I'd still take Taker and Sting because I know Sting wouldn't want to have a bad match. Goldberg.
You mean Sting actually can wrestle?
Sting.
Goldberg cannot.
Goldberg cannot. I've said that
Goldberg never
before.
could.
I didn't like Goldberg in WCW. I hated him. Granted, I also said I don't think the way he lost the belt was cool, particularly since it led to the finger poke of ass, as I like to call it.
Why, you didn't like
Why
the
you don't
Finger
love? Yeah.
I'm honest, because I was the lucky kid. I actually got to watch both Raw and WCW because I would tape Raw and then watch WCW. Then the next day I'd come home from school and watch Monday Night Raw while I'm doing my homework. Unfortunately, that day of the finger poke of doom, I think I stopped watching WCW for like the rest of that year until Bret Hart won the belt at Mayhem. Granted, I know a lot of people hate WCW in the year 2000. It was bad, but it did have some high points. Not a lot, but it had a few.
But the finger poke of doom, Doug.
The only thing I'll give
one
the
of
finger
the
poke
worst factions in history.
The only thing I'll give the finger poke of doom in that night in general, it's what killed WCW since, everybody went to Monday Night Raw to watch Mick Foley win the world title finally.
Because Mick Foley can wrestle, Hulk Hogan only knew 2 moves. And how to take your vitamins and say your prayers.
And Mick Foley can actually get the crowd to care.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and brother.
Whoa. And say your prayers and get your vitamins, brother. If you don't, the Pokemon's gonna get you.
With his worms in his clock.
This is a PG show. I don't think we need to be doing that.
You suck.
Clock.
That's not what I heard.
I don't know how to
Didn't
be
sound
PG.
like that.
I don't know how to be PG, and I try every day.
The one that's on his neck. Or worn around his neck.
All I'm thinking about right now is that ugly Samoa Joe tattoo in TNA when he came back fat. I saw that he had a dick tattoo on his face.
What?
You don't remember when Samoa Joe came back after he lost the world title to Sting? He came back. He was fatter, and he had a tattoo on his face that looked like a dick.
Why?
They were going with his Samoan bullcrap where he's a Samoan destroyer and all that and everything. He's got Samoan tattoos, which...
Katana must be deposed.
Wait,
Looks like a dick.
I was hoping that we were going to hear the one I've been wanting to hear for this. Ironically enough, and this is why I say sometimes TNA had its bad times and good times. This is one of the bad ones.
Sometimes, the majority of it was bad.
Someone knows before Hulk Hogan got there, I could say TNA was good.
No, there was a lot of bad TNA. Like you can't just say that AJ Styles made TNA good.
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say, Angle, Joe, Abyss, AJ, Chris Daniels, LAX,
No,
the X
LAX,
Division.
No.
Because Jay Lethal was actually good in the X Division.
No, he wasn't. He was never good.
Yes, he was. Yes, he is.
No, never was, never will be.
No, I gotta disagree with you there on that one.
He's the opposite of Bret Hart, okay? He's the worst there was, the worst there is.
No.
The worst there will be.
Jay Lethal
Yes,
was
he is.
cool.
No, he was never cool.
Yes, he
Stop
was. He
it
still
with the
is.
emerald.
That's just one of the ones we'll have to disagree on, I guess.
You can disagree all you want.
Look at
Still, the fact remains
bash your head into the wall.
very bad. It was like the Basham brothers.
No, the Basham brothers, I've said before, they weren't the greatest tag team, but they weren't the worst tag team in TNA or in WWE at that during those times.
Well, I didn't say they were the worst in WWE because there was a lot of bad WWE tag teams.
During their time, there was, yeah. Impact, I know a lot of people hated them, but I'm like, look how they were booked. They were only hired and booked to lose to freaking new old age outlaws.
And Team Angle.
No, I said in TNA.
Oh,
Haas and
I'm
Benjamin
talking
were
about
never in TNA. Granted, that whole Christy Hemme storyline anyway, against Billy Gunn and Road Dogg or the James Gang as they went on, or the Voodoo Ken Mafia. But hey, Christian got to be a world champion in TNA. That alone was a great idea.
He got to be a world champion in WWE, so...
Yeah, when he came back. Remember, when he left, he wasn't a world champion. The only reason I think they gave him the world title when he came back to WWE is because they didn't want him to leave again.
Really?
I don't think that's the case.
Really? Think about it. He had a great run in TNA, two-time world champion. Comes back to WWE, wins the ECW title, which was a joke. And then his two world title wins, both of them were not exactly great. You had him win the vacant world title thanks to Edge in a ladder match. You had him lose it to Randy Orton that following SmackDown, so that felt like a slap in the face to his fans and Christian. And then you have him win the world title at Money in the Bank by disqualification. I guarantee you, if you go to Christian and say which world title runs he enjoyed more winning, he would probably see the ones in TNA. Because at least they actually looked... What's the word I'm looking for?
Terrible.
No, that was the WWE ones. They actually were good. They were actually credible, and they weren't bullshit.
I don't know, Doug.
I'm sorry. If you were to tell me, hey, Doug, you're going to win the world title, I'm like, oh, I'm going to get to pin Randy Orton? No, we're going to have Randy Orton get disqualified. I'd be like, fuck you, Vince.
No, you wouldn't.
No.
Yes, I would. Winning the world title and a disqualification is one of the... That's like the worst way to win a world title. That's like winning a title by count-out. That's disgraceful. Because it makes you look like a joke.
It's not disgraceful. It's perfect.
How is it perfect? Explain to me how Christian winning the title by disqualification was good, because no one liked it. The fans booed it because of the fact of... And I even booed because they said, I like Christian. But to have him win a belt by disqualification is like, we don't care about your talent. And I'm sorry. It's like I'm like, you couldn't take a pinfall loss to lose the world title?
No, I liked it. But it made sense. I had a story.
The story was stupid, though. I even said it was the worst story that year.
It was better than some of the shit they had going on that year. Look back at that year.
Isn't that 2012?
No, that would have been 2011, the same time as Money in the Bank.
I remember what happened in 2011.
Remember, that was the Money in the Bank we talked about a few days ago that you said was the last good pay-per-view. Yeah, that was the year Christian won the world title by disqualification.
Oh, Summer of Punk was worse. Mainly because he was booked to lose most of the time.
Yeah, he was.
There you go. That's the worst one. Don't call it the Summer of Punk if he's gonna lose every single match, pretty much.
Granted, CM Punk's title run had a lot of issues. Some of it was his fault, others were not.
You suck.
And what was his fault with it?
Some of the matches he did even weren't that good. Granted, again, some of them weren't his fault, others were.
Most of the time it was going against Ryback.
Yeah, those were bad, but that was because Ryback had no business being in the main event yet.
At all.
Him versus The Rock, both of those matches were bad, but that was because you knew Rock was winning both of them, so that did not help.
He was never in the main event.
No, I don't think, no, he wasn't. During his title run, during that Summer of Punk, he never had
He did like...
main event at a pay-per-view.
See, his entire title reign, he was in the main event very few times. He was rarely in the main event his entire title reign.
Don't even get started on his world title reigns.
See which one do I want to use here. Use that.
Like, if they... Cena vs. Rock. They were planning on doing 3 matches. Don't advertise as once in a lifetime, and you do not put in the main event. The end.
Yeah.
Game over, bro.
The world title should not be... No. There are very few scenarios where the world title should not be in the main event.
We already know which one comes to mind for that one, and it's the one few times even Jericho and Triple H said they should have not main evented that WrestleMania.
Yeah. But Cena and Rock, that's not one of them.
To me, I can understand the first one because that was what was headlining the Mania.
No.
That was the one that they cared about the most. I'm not saying about...
No. Because they were planning on doing multiple of them.
Yeah, here's the thing. If we would have never knew about them doing multiple, I would say that made sense for that to be. And I even said Taker versus Shawn and retirement match. That I understood why that was the last match.
Yeah, because somebody had to retire.
Yeah, granted. Plus, I think both of the other title matches that night were not that great. I think, what was those, mate? I think one was, yeah, it was Cena and Batista for the WWE title, which, ugh.
Shit.
And I think the other one was Taker, not Taker. It was Jericho and Edge, which, if I remember, that wasn't that great of a match either. Which is unfortunate because the both of them are highly talented. Trying to think of a few other. Okay, let's go through WrestleMania's history. Okay, I know one that should have not have main evented, but it did anyway. Was Hogan and Sid, but that was because they thought that was Hogan's last one since of the steroid crap.
That wasn't the main event. Oh, that was the main event, but that was the main event.
Yeah, plus
coming back.
Yeah, plus I don't think Vince really cared about the Ric Flair Savage feud that much. Let's see, Hogan and Yoko was crap, but that was because it was only a few second match.
WrestleMania, count that one.
Yeah, WrestleMania 10 was Yoko and Brett, but both of them already had a match to start off with, so that one was kind of, you could tell both of them were tied more Yoko than anybody. I know WrestleMania 11. Oh God, that WrestleMania 11 match for me. But then yet again, WrestleMania 11 was just like one of the worst pay-per-views in WWE's history.
9 was worse.
Oh my God, I just died.
No, I would say 11's was just because of the fact of what matches we had at 11.
Why 11? You had.
You had Taker and King Kong Bundy, which was better than Taker versus Giant Gonzalez. You had Razor Ramon in a handicap match against Rhodey and Jeff Jarrett, which that was stupid. You had Bob Backlund versus Bret Hart in an I Quit match with Roddy Piper as the guest ref. You had Owen and Yoko beating the Smoking Guns for the tag team titles, which is the only thing I actually enjoyed about that whole pay-per-view for that. Michaels versus Diesel, which That was not a fun match to sit through. And then the main event was Bam Bam Bigelow versus Lawrence Taylor, which, depending on who you ask, everyone will say that is the worst main event, one of the worst main events, or B, it's one of those main events that you kind of enjoyed because you gave props to Lawrence Taylor for actually being one of the few celebrities who actually gave a damn. Me personally, I've said this, Lawrence Taylor was not the worst celebrity wrestler in the company's history.
Why, you ain't like Drew Carey?
Drew Carey understood why they did it years later, you know, because they were trying, because, you know, Triple H was on his Drew Carey show, and they were wanting to plug the Drew Carey military thing, you know, that he was doing to stand up. So I'm like, I understood it. Plus, let's be honest, did anyone really want Chaz or D'Lo Brown in the Royal Rumble? No. Plus, it kind of gave a memorable thing with him and Kane. That made me chuckle a bit. I'd have to say, the Floyd Money Mayweather versus Big Show match, that was crap. Because Floyd Money Mayweather did not try to do anything in that match. Stephen Amell, I know he wasn't at Mania, but he actually showed he actually gave a shit.
Alrighty, I'm getting off of here, guys.
Alright, Wicked, you have a good night.
I'm gonna go into my house.
What the
here.
hell?
You know, oh wait, I thought you were getting off PSN.
Oh, I am.
Oh, why do you see you going in your house then? I'm confused.
Minecraft.
Oh.
Oh, God, why is that?
There's a big combo.
Alright, let's see. Let's have to quit. Extra minus, physical damage times that. Regular central house. 6 damage per attack.
Round 2, fight.
And we're down to 3 people.
Movement speed is probably
A dog, a wicked, yeah. We had a dog, a wicked, a heartless, a me, and a mayhem, and a Johnny.
Yeah, we started with 6 and we're down to 3. We got a ninja, a Canadian, and an alcoholic. Who will probably be drinking tomorrow since I gotta set through so many updates. What's up? I think I might actually watch the TNA pay-per-view tomorrow. I don't know yet or not if I'm going to.
don't.
You would say that about any TNA pay-per-view though, so I can't really say go with you on
You
that.
should go watch Victory Road 2011.
I
Why,
actually
AJ Styles is on there?
no, I think because of the Shalmel versus Jenna from Survivor match.
No,
Yeah.
the main event.
Oh, okay, I was thinking of the other Victory Road from 09, yeah, the Jeff Hardy versus Sting.
Oh,
that's
that's
so
right
bad.
there.
I try to forget that, because I actually ordered that pay-per-view.
It's one of a kind, and all mine. Is it
What, you don't want to hear you don't want to hear the crowd go, this is bullshit, Sting go, I know!
I still say whoever said it was okay for Jeff Hardy to go out and wrestle in that match should have been fired.
I mean, it's not like they could have really done anything.
Actually, you could have had, like, Eric Bishop come out and say, hey, Jeff Hardy can't compete tonight. He's not physically healed, so
We're
Sting,
gonna put some more Joe there.
we found a replacement for you, and you just pick somebody from the group he was in, and just be like, try to have a decent match.
Styles. Be like, hey, it's AJ Styles.
Yeah, I think he had a match against Matt Hardy. I would have probably said, you know what, just put Abyss in there. Fuck it.
Of course he would.
Well, I'm trying to think of people who was in the group with Jeff Hardy of Immortal, and I can only remember Abyss.
Hulk Hulk Hogan.
This is no.
Yes, Hogan versus Sting.
Hogan.
Have him come out as Hollywood attire.
I mean, we had to see that match at fucking Bound for Glory. I don't want to see that again.
Nonsense, dude. Yeah.
Just have Hulk Hogan come out.
The Shaolin always triumph.
Round 2, fight.
It's Hulk Hogan. Not Hulk Hogan, it's Hulk. Oh, god damn it. This guy's fucking cheap. He's a cheap motherfucker.
Is he now?
Yeah, he's one of those enemies that bounces off the walls and doesn't die.
Ah, so the Ultimate Warrior.
I gotta go find something. Let's see if I can go back and go buy something.
Going back
Well, don't
in
go
time,
for a pedigree. That doesn't work on
No, I'm gonna go buy
Ultimate Warriors. Ultimate Warrior is
Clearly, I'm better.
no, because he's dead.
So nice.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. The wicked witch. The wicked witch.
So did a lot of people. And at least I didn't do it like that.
Not nice.
Doug's the one that's not nice. Did you hear him sing?
They're just jealous of my beautiful singing voice. You should know I was in musicals in high school.
Musicals?
Yes.
Were there actual musicals that didn't make windows break or glass shatter?
Yes.
When notes of the song went off?
I actually played the villain in most of them. Because since I had no problem playing the villain.
Oh, did you say you were the villain because you were always a princess? Is that what you said?
No. I played the villain because I always liked playing the villain. I was one of the few people who didn't mind playing the villain in theater
I
class.
don't know why people didn't want to play the villain. The villain was always the best character.
Some people didn't want to play the villain because some people couldn't get the tone right, or someone didn't want to play the villain because he didn't know how to physically do the stunts without getting hurt. Because I think one year we did Beauty and the Beast and we had to have a fight for 2 minutes between Gaston and Beast, and since I had no problem taking a beat down because I did the slapstick humor when we did the comedy ones.
You usually got beat up anyways.
Well, no. When sometimes when we did the talent show for the theater class, because theater class had to do a talent show for the school. Me and 2 other people would really do it the Three Stooges, but I was always the one who got the slapstick done to him because of the fact that I had no problem taking the slaps or punches to the belly or the hits on the head. Because I grew up watching the Three Stooges, I knew how to make it more believable.
So, you were taking chair shots to the head, is that what you just said? This answers a lot.
Not chair shots, it was mostly pies to the face, a few broken fake bottles to break.
Oh, no chair shots?
You heard that part, here comes some broken bottles to the face. You hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Doug is the Christopher Nowinski of his area. Whatever the hell he is.
Cool. He lives in Virginia.
East Virginia.
East.
Everybody talks about West Virginia, but nobody talks about East Virginia.
Because it's not called East Virginia, it's just called Virginia.
It's Virginia.
Yeah. Literally just Virginia.
Since I did bring TNA up not too long ago, in case no one went to TNA or Impact's Twitter account, we have new tag team champions.
Yeah, who cares?
Is it AJ Styles?
It's the North.
The North?
Yeah, they beat LAX at one of the special house shows last night.
Special house show.
One of those house shows, that...
Stomping ground.
No.
Stomping ground?
No, I can't remember what Impact called it exactly, but it was the tag team that's known as the North, because I know Fine Ninja really doesn't probably watch TNA.
Punching ceiling.
I didn't know if you did or not, Heartless, but yeah, LAX lost the match, so they lost the belts, which kind of puts things into a little bit of a predicament, because tomorrow night at Slammiversary, it was supposed to be LAX versus the Rascals. A lot of people believe maybe LAX is leaving because the contracts were up. There's rumors that they may be going to AEW. So if that is the case, I would have preferred them jobbing at the pay-per-view, you know, at least let them drop the belts to the Rascals, but...
You don't want them to drop them to the Filthy Animals instead?
You know, I try to forget that group because I hated that group in WCW.
Did you really?
I did. I did not find them entertaining.
Hey, maybe Sean Spears can show up and, you know, bash your head in with the chair.
You know, I heard about that, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, that was a brutal chair set." I'm like, I've watched it. The chair, you could tell was, it wasn't. It was no, it wasn't. You could tell that chair was a gimmick chair, so it wasn't really gonna hurt. What happened was the back of the chair clipped Cody, you know, at the edge part. So really, what? I know you know. I'm just saying for people who don't know. Believe me, there's a few people who thought it was real and they want Spears to be fired from AEW.
Oh my god, I died.
Yeah, they want justice is right.
They want justice.
They want Sid justice. So that's the justice they're gonna get.
They want Psycho Sid to come back and join AEW.
God,
no, I didn't say Psycho Sid. I said Sid justice. Because that's what they're gonna get.
Does that mean we're going to get Harvey Wimpleman back as a manager?
Oh my, I almost forgot about Harvey.
How could you forget about Harvey Wimpleman? He's like,
I almost forgot about Harvey.
I guarantee if you're actually a wrestling fan who remembers Harvey Wimpleman, they're either going to say one or two things. Yeah, I remember him managing Sid Justice and Bertha Faye. Or B, they're going to say, yeah, I remember him winning the women's title.
Oh my god, that's right, he won the women's title. Now, I will say something about what WWE is doing with Renee. I hope that Renee doesn't go down the same road that Missy Hyatt went, because both careers started off almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
And I can see what they're doing already, because as soon as Ambrose left, like, that she was coming off and not protecting her anymore.
Yeah, I'm surprised she's still on the announcing team still.
Oh, of course. I didn't have any clue that she's really announcing it. It's what happens next. Because women don't care about entertainment. Sounds like a bad thing, but it doesn't. Look at Kelly.
I try to forget about Kelly because I hated her run.
There's Kelly. She's in WWE. He is a hockey player. Hockey player does his job. She goes on a bad TV show, and she's unemployed again. Now she's walking around in shorts with garter belts on the outside. This is everyday wear. This is not like some lingerie or anything. This is like garter belts instead of shorts.
Oh, good lord. See, if I saw Kelly out in the real world just like that, and I was new for something that I want to pull a $5 bill out of my pocket.
Oh, I wouldn't even give her $5. Fuck that shit.
You give her $1.50.
No, I wouldn't even give her. I would give her no money because that bitch never learned how to run the ropes.
No, she did not.
You give her a peso because pesos are not good currency.
No, you give her a hat and tell her to do the Mexican hat dance. Na 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 na. And see who does it better, her or Brock Lesnar.
Page 62, Johnny Cage dies. Is some.
And honestly, I don't have a problem with Brock. Everybody gets mad at Brock, but honestly, that's because if you should be mad at anybody, you should be mad at WWE. You should not be mad at everybody's always mad at Brock when Brock wins titles or he's a title holder or he doesn't show up. If you were in the same shoes as Brock Lesnar and they came to you and they said, listen, Doug, we're going to give you the world title. And yes, your contract says you will only make X amount of appearances. If you want to make more appearances, that's fine, but you're not going to get any extra funds or extra
things like that. Yeah, and I said before, I didn't have a problem with Lesnar's contract. But my only issue was if you're going to make him the champion, you better make the Intercontinental or U.S. title, whichever the other one is on that brand, you better elevate it and make it more important, because if not...
No.
You're not helping yourself.
No, I don't agree with that.
And I said that was one of the bigger issues because...
Every time they try to elevate those secondary titles, it becomes a washed out joke after like a month.
It could have worked if they did it right.
No, here's a challenge for you. And you don't say anything, Fire Ninja. Doug, who's the IC champion right now?
Finn Balor. The Demon or whatever he goes by.
Who's the US champion?
For some reason, it's fucking Ricochet.
No, it's not. Styles.
No, because Ricochet... No, they reversed the decision. Ricochet won the match.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
And when was the last time either one of those titles were defended? Excluding the US title, because that just happened on Monday.
Let's see. The IC title was just defended at a pay-per-view, and it's being defended on Tuesday as he takes on Nakamura.
See, you're looking up. You're cheating.
No, actually, no, because I knew that got announced at like 6 o'clock today when one of my YouTube people did a video about it.
Title holders, if any of those two title holders were, not one person could tell you.
Yeah, the casual fans wouldn't get it right.
Okay, here's another one. Here's another one for you. What does the winner of the Andre the Giant Battle Royal get?
A trophy, and that's pretty much fucking it. Buried for the whole year.
No. They get a title shot.
When did they start doing that? Because they didn't do that with Cesaro. No. Cesaro, Baron Corbin.
Cesaro got a U.S. title match.
No, he got one months later. But he didn't get him. He didn't get one at the next month.
Yeah, I know, but they consider that the title match.
That's dumb. People with intelligence won't count that. To me, if you're getting a title shot, it has to be the next month. It has to be within that month.
No.
If not, no, I don't count it.
No, but it counts. But that's
no.
But nobody knows that. Same thing with the Mae Young Classic. The winner's supposed to have a women's title match.
Yeah, well, I don't remember that being a part of the gimmick.
It is.
If they did, they never mentioned it.
The last two winners actually got title matches. Literally, they were first matches in NXT. What is the other tournament? The Worlds Collide. What's his name? Won it, so he got the North American title match.
Velveteen Dream.
Yeah. And what's the other one?
Unfortunately, casual fans don't even know what NXT is. So,
even though it's the better brand.
Yeah.
I mean, as weak as their cards ever look on paper, their cards are still 10 times better than the WWE. But my point is good. My point that I'm trying to get to, they have never been consistent with elevating them. Last time, and if that was nothing anyone can say their weakness, just man. Last time, secondary titles meant anything was when Cena had it and he was doing the open challenges. the last time it ever meant anything.
You mean
say all you want. You can
for the Cena
talk
thing?
about the Cena Open Challenge when he was defending it. As much as you want to talk shit about Cena.
No, I wasn't going to talk
That's
shit
the
about
last time
Cena.
anyone gave a shit.
The issue with that U.S. Open Challenge, and I said it, you knew 9 times out of 10 Cena was going to win. And I said,
except for when Owens beat him.
The only one who beat him, but it was a non-title match, was Kevin Owens. But then when the title was on the line, Kevin Owens lost.
And then he beat him the second time.
But again, the title was not on the line for the U.S. title.
No, he beat him for that title.
No, the one who beat Cena for the U.S. title was Seth Rollins because he unified.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and then Cena won it back at the next pay-per-view, and.
That's right. That's because they wanted to have another title for.
And I'm trying to remember. I think Cena finally lost that belt to. I think it was a belt at Rio. I think. Plus, I said the biggest problem with that, if I was doing that with Cena, I would have had him win maybe the first 3 or 4, but then the 5th one, I would have had him lose it to an up-and-coming guy. That would have shocked the fans. Unfortunately, he didn't do that.
But still, you cared about that title at that time.
Actually, no, I didn't, because every time he came up, I changed the channel because I'm like, I know he's going to win. Click.
Yeah, but compared to the other titles on the thing during that time period, no one gave a shit about any other titles.
Well, depending on who had the belts at that time, I care, depending if they were the guys I liked or not, but...
Okay, so, let's say hypothetically, let's say tomorrow night on Raw, Roman Reigns comes out and he says, I'm challenging Finn Balor for the IC title and he wins.
Oh god, I would be like, well, the IC title means shit now.
But that's one of your big stars. It should mean something.
Here's the problem with Roman Reigns being the so-called big star. I've said before, I don't like Roman. I didn't like him when he was in WWE's developmental territory. And I'm not counting NXT, I'm counting the other one before they became NXT. Didn't like him then.
He's just a loudmouth bullshitter. That's
don't like him now.
In FCW.
I don't think he's that talented in the ring or on the mic. When he comes out, I change the channel. Because I don't want to watch him. And I've said before, if the next title he wins, which I already know Vince is probably going to give him one, I'll probably, when he comes out, I won't be watching because I don't want to watch somebody I don't like. Unfortunately, the issue is...
You're not gonna watch, so you're not going to watch SummerSlam then?
Probably not, no. Because I've already said I'm not watching Extreme Rules because I don't care about Roman and Taker versus Shane and Drew. I feel sad for Shane and Drew because they're probably going to have to put over Taker and Roman. I'd be shocked if Shane and Drew win. Let's see, Kofi versus Samoa Joe. It probably will be a good match, but I don't see Joe winning. I think Kofi's going to lose it at SummerSlam. Oh God, who's the other? The stupid mixed tag team match. That is the dumbest thing I've seen. It's like,
you know what's gonna happen with that?
If they have Baron Corbin,
double DQ.
I mean, if they do some kind of bullshit dusty finish in that, or they have Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans win the belts like that, oh, that's gonna help AEW because everyone's gonna be like, well, click. The tag team title match for SmackDown. Triple threat matches are kind of hard to actually get a good match out of things because it's usually just a bunch of people doing those signature moves and everything. I'm not saying all triple threat matches are bad, but not all are great either. It should be good though because of who you got in it. I don't even think the Raw tag team titles have been defended since the Revival won them back. But because they're in Shane's group. And then, of course, we already know the one title that actually means anything if you listen to people on Twitter or Facebook or even some of my few streams I've done is the 24/7 title.
That's because the only thing they're doing right with that title is Drake Maverick. That's the only thing they're doing right. And it's not Archer. It's Drake Maverick.
R-Truth and
sorry.
Drake Maverick have been
The
the only
whole
two who've
thing of
actually made that
R-Truth
title enjoyable.
locking himself in a fucking box for the whole fucking weekend, and that story, he hid in a box, he couldn't get out, and they asked the following week, or on the Raw following that day, they're like, oh, how did you get out? Oh, I stayed in it all week. You fucking stayed in a box for the whole weekend? Never once showed footage of him getting out of the box or anything. Just, oh, I was in the box over the weekend.
Yeah, that I will admit, that was stupid. I gotta admit that, but him and, let's
Never
be
been a
honest,
fan
him
of
and Drake
R-Truth.
Maverick have been the only two who have made it worth it. And don't get me wrong, I hate R-Truth. I've never found him that fun to watch, but he's making the title mean something. Him and Drake.
Yeah, he's an 8-time champion already.
Yeah, which, if you know what's sad, they've actually cared about R-Truth more doing this 24/7 title than any other time. And it's still shocking to remember that R-Truth is a 2-time NWA World Champion.
Well, that tells you something about TNA. That flat out tells you something about TNA. And it's not a problem. When he was a champion, there was also guys like Kevin Nash, Booker T, Jay Lethal, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian. I could go on the talent that was in that company, and they put the title on fucking Ron Killings.
Well, hold on, because I actually have some of those on early NWA TNA pay-per-views. R-Truth's first title was because he beat Ken Shamrock. That was back when it was...
anyone would buy that R-Truth would beat fucking Ken Shamrock.
Well, the reason they did that was because
gimmick.
of the fact of Ken Shamrock wasn't showing up to appearances to defend the belt. They knew R-Truth would what's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to remember because it wasn't the first time they did this, but it was WWE who did it. Remember when WWE had Shawn Stasiak's dad win the belt from Pedro Morales? That was mostly because Shawn Stasiak, even though he wasn't the greatest wrestler, but he was a legit one of the tougher guys in the back, and he would not put up with Pedro wanting to run away to keep the belt because Pedro didn't want to drop the belt. So I think that's what they were kind of doing with R-Truth there, you know. R-Truth's not going to be okay with Shamrock running away with the belt or anything. He's going to legit try to win, but luckily you didn't have to go to that. And the only reason I know about that with Shawn Stasiak's dad is because if you listen to the Blackjack Milligan shoot interview he did a few years ago, he said, I was supposed to beat Pedro Morales for the belt, but Pedro Morales decided to get counted out and then ran back to the locker room, grabbed his bags and got in his car and left. You know how some people apparently when they win the title they don't like losing it. Back in the day. As far as for his second one, I'm trying to remember who... I'm actually going to look up to see who his second one he beat was. Because the only reason I remember Shamrock is that's the one they always highlight for R-Truth when they're doing those packages from back in the day. NWA World Title. Because I know Magnus has it now. Which it is funny that we'll probably never see him in WWE. Ironically enough, just as a quick history, apparently the shortest reign is Shane Douglas for the NWA World Title. Which that's probably...
a week?
No, less than a week. Actually, I think it was like less than a day. That was the day he vacated it at the ECW thing. Let's see. Yeah, I know Jeff Jett had that damn title for way too many times. Alright. Can I pull up the... Let me pull up the damn history... Oh, there we go. List of NWA World Champions. I need to go back to... Let's see. It would have been in the... about 2001 or 2. Okay, so that's Jeff Jarrett, Rhino Jeff Jarrett, AJ Jeff Jarrett, Ray Gonzalez Jeff Jarrett. Okay, let's
You
see.
say Giant Gonzalez? Is that what you just said to me right now?
No, Ray Gonzalez.
Oh, I thought I heard
That was
Giant
less than a
Gonzalez.
day. Let's see. R-Truth's first one was Ken Shamrock at Weekly NWA TNA pay-per-view event number 8. And then he lost the belt a few weeks later to Jeff Jarrett, who then unified it with the WWA World Heavyweight Champion by defeating Sting. Then AJ Styles won it. Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles. AJ Styles lost it to Ron Killings on May 19, 2004 at the 95th weekly pay-per-view.
May 19th.
This was a fatal 4-way match involving Raven and Chris Harris. What the fuck?
You're missing the most important part.
I know, May 19, May 19. Honestly enough, then Jeff Jarrett won it back in the first ever King of the Mountain match.
But was that on May 19th?
No, that was on June 2nd.
Exactly.
So I'd like to point out then that means Ron Killings has beat Ken Shamrock, AJ Styles, Raven, and Chris Harris for the belt.
On May
Who was pinned
19th.
in that match? Who
On
was
May
pinned in
19th.
that fatal 4-way?
Let me see if it'll let me.
Raven.
It was probably Chris Harris,
probably-
I'm going to presume. Because it doesn't say who he pinned. There's a way to find out though, most likely. Let's go to YouTube. Aren't you? I'm not even playing right now. It's like we're doing this. On Killings, NWA World Champion.
May 19th.
Alright, let's go to... Okay, I'm going to say this. It looks real... Wait, did he actually pin AJ Styles in this match? Holy shit. Let's see. I'm at the end of it. AJ Styles is about to hit the Styles Clash on Raven. Out comes Jeff Jarrett with a guitar. Folk a million guitars couldn't draw a dime. Raven hits the DD. Nope. AJ fights off Raven. AJ Styles gets hit with a guitar. Raven hits the even flow DDT. Chris Harris pulls Raven out. Chris Harris is like, I'm gonna steal the win. I'm gonna pin it. No one believes Chris Harris is gonna win this fucking match. Even if you would have told me back then. Chris Harris hits the worst elbow drops in CM Punk. R-Truth pulls the ref out. Are you
May
kidding
19th.
me? Yeah, this is May 19, 2004. Oh my god. R-Truth won his second NWA World title, pinning AJ Styles.
You're missing the most important part.
Yeah, I know you want to reference the stupid Kane gimmick from May 19th, May 19th.
It's because AJ Styles heard the voices in his head.
Oh
And
god.
that terrible gimmick.
Why is he Randy Orton now?
No, that was the Kane thing. Remember, Kane was May 19th.
And
Oh
then
my
fake
god.
AJ
Vince
Styles
Russo
came out.
came out to try to hold up the belt. And he looks clean shaven, that's a surprise. Apparently
So
the
you're
refs are saying
missing-
because this was a no disqualification match, the title stands, R-Truth is the world champion. So I'd like to point out, R-Truth has pinned Ken Shamrock, and it took a guitar sort from Jeff Jarrett, a DDT from Raven, an elbow drop from Chris Harris, and then R-Truth's Harlem sidekick thingamababa to pin and take the belt from AJ Styles. What in the actual fuck?
And fake AJ Styles came out. Along
Well-
with fake Diesel and fake Razor Ramon and fake Sting and fake...
That just shows you
Kane.
that, Vince Russo's
All
a
of them
fucking
together.
moron.
And fake Undertaker. Don't forget about fake
Yeah,
Undertaker.
of course.
Can't
And
have
the
fakes
Renegade.
without fake Undertaker. And the Renegade, yeah.
Oh god. You know, I feel sorry for the one who played Renegade, because if you ever go through the whole story and everything, and I don't know if anyone's watched OSW, they actually go into a lot of detail about it, and I actually did a lot of things. He didn't want to do that because he even apparently he said in interviews that he didn't think it was going to be believable that he was the Warrior, but he couldn't turn down the payday. Which, again, you know, I can see his point. You know, who would want to turn down that much money? Because I think he was getting paid $150,000 to $250,000 to do the gimmick, which back in
But
95, 96, that's money.
in the end, he
He
killed
did,
himself
unfortunately,
because
killed himself.
Warrior basically ruined his career.
Pretty much, even Wrestling with Regretta said that as well, that, because he was, and actually not only him, but you can also throw the British Bulldog in there, because if anybody remembers the World War III match they had that night, the trap door, and Bulldog fucked up his back. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you would think that would be something to
tell the
warn people
wrestlers.
about. But no, they're just gonna keep that a secret because, you know,
It's kind of
it works.
ironic in a very sad way that two prominent members of the Heart Foundation died because of company gimmicks, props. Already dropped to his death because of bad rig. And I don't know if you guys, I strongly recommend people to listen to podcasts. I do. That goes into a big, I think it was 20-year anniversary. Was it this year? 20 years? Or 10 years? Anyways, they're going to a big interview outlining the details of what kind of material they used and what happened that day. And then you look at the Bulldog, who, because of a gimmick fucking trapdoor in the ring, which no other company uses a gimmick trapdoor. WCW decided to do a fucking trapdoor in the ring and didn't bother to change it during between matches. Didn't bother to use the other ring because it was World War III. There were supposed to be 3 rings.
There was 2 rings that night, but yeah, they could use the other ring for the whole night.
And they chose not to. So this is just, it's sad. You could argue all Bulldog was up there in age, blah 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 blah. Life is a life. Stupidity. Yeah. Still stupidity.
It's sad because you know
they
would have
interested in the podcast I was referring to. I don't like the broadcast or advertising. It's post wrestling. You just look up the old cards 20 years later at it. But it's really insightful. But it also makes you sad after this. I was really sad after this. You guys go over talking to the people that like they go over the last day. But you were gonna say very good, sorry.
I mean, because I'm honest, because I remember that pay-per-view I remember that pay-per-view still to this day, because my mom ordered me the pay-per-view because I wanted to see Owen Hart. I knew he was the Blue Blazer, but still win the IC title, because I think he was supposed to win the title that night from Godfather, if I recall.
Everybody knew he was supposed to beat Godfather.
Unfortunately, since I ordered the watched the pay-per-view, unfortunately, I didn't go to school the next few days, because if everybody knew me as a kid back then, my favorite wrestler and the hero that I looked up to as a kid was Owen Hart. So that kind of like I was kind of like sad and depressed for a few weeks. I'm sure like the rest of the world was too, unfortunately.
Except for Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon was like one of the coldest, hardest bullshit.
Yeah, because I know they continued the pay-per-view, which, depending who you ask, some people said they should have just ended the pay-per-view there. Others have said, you know, some people may have thought it was good to continue the pay-per-view so the mind would not be on the situation. To me personally, I don't know if I could have continued the pay-per-view, if I'm being honest. I don't know if I could.
For continuing the pay-per-view, I honestly don't know. That is really... Because it really... the damage is already done. Alright, I hate to sound like an ass, but the damage is done. This man is on his way to the hospital. He could be dead.
Yeah.
Stopping the pay-per-view isn't going to help him. But what you could do is you could take the proceeds from that event for the fund, which they never bothered to do. Or the foundation, which they never bothered to try and even do. His wife did, even after she fucking alienated the whole Hart family and all his history in wrestling, which I think was wrong, but I agree with everything else.
That's why I tell people, yo, Vince is heartless. I mean, let's be honest. This is a guy who punished Ricky the Dragon Steamboat for wanting to be with his wife for their firstborn child, and buried him when he came back. And then, then you could even say with Kofi got punished because he left for a while to be with his wife for their firstborn child, and it took him it took him forever to get back to a main event. That and Randy Orton, but Randy Orton, I think, gets that part of that blame for that one. And I know a lot of people don't like David Arquette as world champion, but I got to give David Arquette this. His entire money he made while he was in WCW working for them, he did not keep a single check. Remember, he donated it to Owen Hart's family and Brian Pillman's family. So for that, David Arquette, I gave you a thumbs up. And for something, you know what's even funnier? And I want to switch subjects just so we can get off something that's sad. Can somebody...
What, David Arquette's actual wrestling career where he almost died? That's career?
No.
Is that what you want to switch it to?
Because actually, David Arquette on the indie scene, I've seen some of his indie matches. He's actually, I can't believe I'm saying this. His
gimmick is hilarious.
His gimmick's hilarious.
Is hilarious.
And it's actually enjoyable. But you know, a lot of people hate his world title run, and I tell people, I look at David Arquette's title run. It wasn't his fault. He was pressured into it, and let's be honest.
It was WCW.
It was WCW's fault. And Ric Flair was even said, you know, at least when Arquette was champion, he wore the belt around his waist. He did buy the boys drinks. And Ric Flair's even said David Arquette, in his eyes, is not the worst champion. And I've seen that match at Slamboree against him, Jeff Jarrett, and DDP. For a guy who really wasn't trained...
is that the match where they recreated the triple cage?
Triple cage, yeah. Match? He actually jumped off the top rope to do a splash and didn't land on his fucking knees like you see half these guys do. He actually landed on his stomach. I'm like, he landed on his stomach. Some things most veteran wrestlers can't do, because every time they go off the top rope, they want to land on their knees and not at their stomach. And he actually knew how to sell.
You don't have a choice. I mean, look at Mark Henry. Mark Henry,
I can understand, but I mean, guys, David Arquette's height. And I told people David Arquette actually sold pretty well for a guy who really wasn't a wrestler. He sold well. Not great, but well. And let's be honest here, during that year in 2000, he was more believable than Vince Russo. More believable than Scott fucking Steiner. More believable than Kevin Nash.
Well, I mean, Kevin Nash hurt his own career. I mean, with the finger point.
Yeah. More believable than Hulk Hogan.
Again, Hogan hurt himself. Hogan hurt his credibility.
I
There's a few
agree.
names that you listed. Because you look at Scott, you brought up Scott Steiner. Look at Scott Steiner fucking in the 90s. Look at Scott Steiner in the 80s. He was one of the best LT wrestlers you could see. Him and his brother. One of the most popular, arguably, most popular tag teams. Multiple title reigns, but when they came to WWE, not one title reign.
For who?
Steiners.
No, the Steiners had a title reign in WWF. Tag teams,
sure?
anyway. Yeah, it was like they won the belts a few months after the first King of the Ring. Well, no, before the King of the Ring, they did a house show where they beat Money Inc. Money Inc. won it back a few days later at a house show. Then they beat him, I think, like at one of the TV tapings or something. And Steiners actually defended the tag team titles at SummerSlam of that year against the Heavenly Bodies.
Hold on.
That would have been the SummerSlam where Luger and Yoko main evented, if I recall. We're actually almost done with this tower. We've completed a lot of towers tonight. Alright, so one of the towers have expired, so let's see what that one does real quick. If it's a boss tower, we'll probably go... It's another... Well, there's one, isn't it? Ah, it's one I already did, on to the T, so I don't have to worry about doing that one. So this little tower will be the last tower of the night. And we are going to go with... Yeah, we may as well stick with Noob Saibot since he's my main. I don't even know that, unfortunately. Where's my PlayStation on? I don't remember turning that on.
Man, Scorpion toasted you.
Ermac ripped off your arms.
That is odd, I don't know. There we go. I must have bumped into it earlier, I guess, to turn it on by accident. At least now I can have that on and watch DVDs or play PS1 games and fucking shit download tomorrow. And Jax is dead. No more Jax.
Noob Saibot wins.
We completed the time to smash tower, and that puts us at in the top 2.7%. We've completed 38 towers, and the towers of time end in a few more days. So as long as we keep doing this, which it looks like we're going to, we'll probably be getting that Cabal skin. So you'll probably see more Mortal Kombat Sunday evening and Monday as well. But until then, have a good night. See you next time.